Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 13 at 6. I'm Greg Lagerquist.
And I'm Kim Block. Tonight, a story you'll see only on 13. She's been called one of the cruelest and most calculated killers in Maine history. And tonight, Kimberly Spampanato speaks out for the first time about setting her husband on fire in their Wells home and burning him alive. A warning, what you are about to hear is graphic in nature and viewer discretion is advised. News 13's Brad Rogers has the story.
We had a good relationship.
Kimberly Spampanato says she met Christopher in an online chat room. It led to marriage in a 2-year relationship, a relationship that ended when Christopher got back together with an old girlfriend.
Just 2 days earlier, he was completely okay and a loving, caring husband. And now 2 days later, he's saying he's leaving.
Inside the Maine Correctional Center, Kimberly Spampanato admits she was distraught, upset, and angry, especially when she heard her voice on their answering machine.
I was enraged. How dare she call my house?
2 days later, Spampanato was in custody, confessing to the murder of her husband. Today, she told me she has no regrets, no remorse over what she did. But it's how she killed him that's even more disturbing. Spiking his iced tea with sleeping pills and waiting for him to doze off.
He was completely asleep. I went outside, I grabbed the gas. I had rolled up newspapers. I doused the downstairs. I went up the stairs, I doused the upstairs. I doused the bed. I wasn't insane at the time. I knew exactly what I was doing. My mind was completely made up. There was no other thought process at all. The thought process was I was going to kill him, and he suffered third-degree burns almost his entire body. Thought about actually staying in the house myself, but quickly decided not to do that. I left the house hearing him scream.
Christopher Spampanato died 8 days later.
It sounded like you wanted him to feel the pain.
I did want him to feel the pain.
In pleading guilty to the crime, Spampanato told me she wanted everyone to think the affair was the motive.
And they put this out there that it was Nicky, that I killed him because he had an affair. And that's not the truth. That's not why he's dead.
However, before we can tell you the reason she gave, we are first checking out the validity of her claims. There was one topic that Kimberly Spampanato did not want to talk about, her alleged previous crimes. At her sentencing, she dropped the bombshell that she killed 7 other people. And another ex-husband had claimed she also tried to kill him.
And we're not going to talk about that.
State prosecutors tell us they found no evidence of other murders. Prosecutors say what Spampanato did was torture. And today, she told me it probably was.
Did you regret it afterwards?
No, I'm not remorseful to him at all, even now.
But you smiled about it at times?
Yeah, I do.
Brad Rogers reporting. Kimberly Spampanato is serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. She said if Maine had the death penalty, she would have asked for it. If you want to see this interview in its entirety, you can just head to our website at WGME.com and click on the Raw News section, the icon there. When you get there, all of our other Raw News items are easily accessible by scrolling through the list on the right-hand side of your screen.
Let's go ahead and turn to the Gulf Coast now, where much of the nation's watching this storm right now. Tropical Storm Isaac. It's already disrupted the Republican National Convention in Tampa. Now it's threatening the oil production there in the Gulf of Mexico as it steams towards the Gulf Coast, possibly New Orleans. And as that storm moves closer to the coast, Mainers are helping out already. Joining us now with that part of the story is Jana Barnello. And Jana, just how big is the response right now heading south?
Greg, there are about 24 Mainers from the Red Cross volunteering down south, mostly in Florida. To give you a frame of reference, when Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005, the Maine Red Cross sent 100 volunteers. So this response to Isaac is about a quarter of the size of the response to Katrina. That said, they could send more volunteers, more Mainers could be on the way as this storm develops. what's going on right now. The local Red Cross is keeping an eye on the national needs, and if there is a need and somebody to send, that's what they'll do. Today, one more volunteer left, and they mobilized one of their emergency response vehicles. That truck is on its way down the coast, as well as 2 others who are on standby prepping to leave either tonight or tomorrow. The local volunteers there will do everything from shelter setup to counseling victims. And here in Maine, the Red Cross will keep coordinating relief efforts.
We want to make sure that we have the right people in the right places at the right time, number one. And number two, quite frankly, all the assistance that the Red Cross provides to the American public is free of charge. And the money that we do receive for this assistance is donated from the American public. So it's some of those efforts are out there to make sure that we do have the amount of funds necessary to engage in a relief effort of this magnitude.
This is the biggest relief effort for the Maine Red Cross so far this year. 24 volunteers already in Florida. They could be moved to Louisiana, Alabama as the storm heads to the Gulf Coast, but right now they are on their way, if not already in Florida, trying to help where they can. And as this storm continues, we'll of course keep you updated on how Mainers are helping with Tropical Storm Isaac. Reporting live in Portland, I'm Jana Barnello, News 13. Back to you.
Great to know people are ready to help, Jana. Well, our own meteorologist, Charlie LaPresti, is tracking Isaac as well. And Charlie, I understand we've gotten some more information just in the last hour or so about the intensity of the storm, or expected intensity as it makes landfall.
That's right. I've been mulling over the new information coming from the National Hurricane Center. And the newest information, most worthy of note, is the strength that is expected to make landfall as when it makes landfall is somewhere near New Orleans or the Mississippi River on tomorrow night into Wednesday. It's supposed to be a Category 2 storm now.
And that's stronger than we were thinking.
That's right. Originally, it was expected to be a Category 1 storm. So this is a continuous process as we continue to follow what's going to happen with the storm. In fact, let's take a look at our latest forecasts on the storm. This coming from the National Hurricane Center, the latest satellite loop showing the storm about 255 miles to the south of the mouth of the Mississippi River down in New Orleans. In fact, New Orleans and the state of Mississippi is going to be hit particularly hard by this storm. The winds now sustained at 70 miles per hour. Still a tropical storm. Hurricane hunters are out there looking at flight level winds. These are not surface winds, but flight level winds. Notice a gust there of about 83 miles per hour. That green line is the past path. The yellow line is the projected path. Notice it takes it right near New Orleans, so it continues to trend a little bit west, if anything here. You're looking at spaghetti plots. These are the different computer models and their projected track of the storm. Notice there still is a wide variety of computer model tracks on this storm. Here's the Hurricane Center's official track. Notice now expected to be a Category 2 storm when it makes landfall tomorrow night and moving into Wednesday. We're expecting a high tide of about 6 to 12 feet above normal, so significant flooding is possible there with possibly as much as 10 to 20 inches of rain. Greg, long duration event, a lot of rain, and this could be a big problem for areas like New Orleans, Mobile Bay again, a big impact in the northern Gulf Coast tomorrow into Wednesday. And of course, in our weather forecast, things couldn't be better around here. We'll look at that in a few minutes.
Almost feel bad about that. And almost exactly 7 years after Katrina, New Orleans bracing for this one.
No question, yes.
All right, Charlie, thanks so much. Let's go ahead and turn to our Vote 2012 coverage again, and the impact the storm is having on the Republican National Convention. And there is an impact. That convention officially convened as scheduled today, but it was in name only. As planned, organizers then immediately recessed until tomorrow, with today's events and speeches canceled. The disruption will not affect the major events of the convention, building to Mitt Romney's nomination and his acceptance speech expected to happen on Thursday.
A 21-year-old college student from Maine is set to become the country's youngest state Republican National Committee woman later this week. She is one of the contested Maine delegates in Tampa right now. Ashley Ryan has been especially vocal regarding the controversy involving the selection of Maine's delegates and received several large ovations while speaking at a Ron Paul event last night. Take a listen.
But I challenge you to look at things differently. Successful campaigns today embrace new technology like the internet and use of social media to organize and raise the big money required to compete at state and national levels. Just look at how Barack Obama used social media like Facebook and Twitter to propel him and his candidates past so many of ours in 2008. We can't continue to lag behind. My candidacy.
She is pushing for a new Republican Party that is, quote, open to new ideas, a message she's been pushing since the uproar started back in May. Ron Paul supporters say they're still pushing for him to get a primetime speech at this week's convention. One Maine Republican who will not be in Tampa this week is Governor Paul LePage, who says he will stay in Maine to focus on issues here.
Well, a Portland man is accused of an unusual crime. He's accused of relieving himself right in the middle of a field sobriety test. According to our media partners at the Portland Press-Herald, police say that this man, Remus Opie, was driving drunk when he crashed into a fire hydrant on Cumberland Avenue Sunday night. Now, officers ordered him out of the car and into the middle of a field sobriety test. They say he unzipped his pants, exposed himself, and urinated next to the front passenger tire of the officer's cruiser. He's being held at the Cumberland County Jail at last check on $60 bail.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
Hi, welcome back, everyone. Does our weather get much better than this? We had a great weekend, a great start to the work week, but now I'm tracking showers and thunderstorms. We have to water the gardens at some point, I guess. That all associated with a cold front that will be moving through. I expect developing sun as soon as afternoon tomorrow. Let's take a look at that 3-day forecast. Showers and thunderstorms move in tonight, mainly late tonight for most areas, and I think they continue through the morning hours tomorrow. The second half of the day, Tuesday, will be brighter than the first half. In fact, mostly sunny skies will send temps to around 80 degrees again. Wednesday and Thursday look nice. We're coolest on Wednesday, nice and dry with highs only in the 70s. The next warm-up begins on Thursday, lower 80s that day. By Friday, I think many areas will be in the upper 80s to possibly even near 90 degrees again. Highs today made it to around 80 for most coastal towns. The sea breeze kicked in. Some inland towns made it into the mid-80s. Areas like Lewiston, you stayed in the lower 80s today. 82 for Augusta as well. Current temps are generally in the low to mid-70s. It's pretty comfortable out there. You probably have noticed the clouds on the increase, and now I'm tracking some widely scattered showers. That one right there, maybe a thunderstorm crossing the Connecticut River Valley. That one up near, the Rangeley Lakes, probably just a quick heavy downpour there. We're seeing a light rain shower moving into the Lewiston region. Let's head into that one right there. So Lewiston, Auburn, heading to Mechanic Falls, a quick shower in your area. That should not be a thunderstorm, but thunderstorms will threaten late tonight into tomorrow morning. It's all associated with a cold front. You can easily make out our front tonight. It extends from way up near Gas Bay all the way down through Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Out ahead of this, we're seeing these showers and thunderstorms. They will become more numerous as we go into the overnight. In fact, by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, I expect we will need the umbrellas, we'll need the windshield wipers as we head off to work. This is 11 o'clock tonight. Notice many inland towns back in the mountains, you're seeing a little bit of light rain shower activity. Chance for thunderstorm tonight. I think we have a greater threat for thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Notice the temperatures too. It's still pretty mild. Temps should bottom out in the mid-60s, so a mild night is ahead. It's a little muggy out there as well. That's going to change, though. This cold front will bring showers and thunderstorms through the morning tomorrow. Notice a lot of green, even some yellows and oranges showing up on the map. That indicates some heavier downpours, so you could see some real gully washes as these move through. It's going to move through pretty quickly, though. Developing sun will take place by afternoon. This is 2:30 in the afternoon with sunny skies returning. Afternoon temps should warm into the lower 80s for many towns, even at the coastline. The reason for that, we'll have a wind coming in off the land. So it's a westerly wind tomorrow, not a sea breeze. The wettest portion of the day will be the morning. The best, brightest portion of the day will be the afternoon. Look at the temps on Wednesday. Struggling to get out of the mid-70s. Nice and dry. A little bit of a breeze. It actually may feel like a hint of fall on Wednesday. But summer returns Thursday and Friday. Look at the temperatures surging in the upper 80s by Friday. Saturday and Sunday look okay. Temps will be cooling a little bit as we go into the weekend. Highs should generally be in the 70s by late weekend. And the only thing that could change that forecast could be the remnants of Tropical Storm Isaac down to our south. Now, the forecast models still have a hard time even pinpointing where it's going to make landfall, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one around here. Sometimes you can get the heavy rainfall associated with tropical systems here in northern New England, as we all know. Right now, I'm going to keep most of that to our south, but that needs to be monitored going into the long holiday weekend.
Well, we're all watching Isaac for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, you got it.
Everyone is.
All right, thank you, Charlie.